All right, welcome everyone to our Monday night Team Passion Zoom call. Thank you all for getting on here live, and thank you to those that are listening to the recording. So tonight I wanted to talk about fears. One of the biggest reasons why people don't succeed in a business like this is fear. Fear just paralyzes us and stops us in our tracks, and we talk a lot about it in our personal development. You know, people say, how do I get over my fears? I'm like, you just have to keep doing personal development. But I wanted to kind of address some specific issues tonight, which is why I asked you guys to post some fears in the Team Passion page. So I'm going to go through those one by one. But I kind of want to start with something that, and I posted it in my personally sponsored coach page this morning. And then I just posted it for you guys this afternoon or this evening about the stories that you kind of make up in your head, right? Everyone is saying no. Nobody has any money. Like, what? Everyone. Like, that's dramatic. Everyone. It's like, really? How many people? And usually when I ask that question, it's between 10 and 20. I'm like, okay, that's normal. You should definitely have your first 10 to 20 people telling you no. Like, that's normal. So you have to keep going. One story I heard early on in this business, I don't remember, you guys maybe someone knows this story and can post it up. But it might have been like a Brian Tracy he has a great book and a great audio called The Psychology of Selling. And basically he talked about, like, you know, people are given tasks, like a list of 100 people that they have to contact. I don't know if I'm getting the story right, but I'm going to give you the gist of it. 100 people, your job in one day is contact 100 people, and you have to get 10 yeses, right? So the person goes through the first 10 people, they get all no's, they go to 20, 30, 40, 50, they're still getting no's, 60, 70, 80, and they don't get their first yes until they make their 88th call or something crazy like that. And then the 10 come right after that. And by the time the person has made 100 calls, there are 10 from 88 to 100. So imagine, and the prize at the end is like you win $1 million or something. So if you have to kind of trick your mind each day, like, okay, in order for me, you know, to make this business successful, put a number on it. Like, if I make 10 calls today, I'm going to win $1 million, you know, whatever it is, but trying to trick your head and just keep going no matter what is happening. It is like my biggest tip in this business is to not allow no's or fear or rejection to halt you in this business, because you're not going to succeed that way. If all of a sudden you get a no, or you get 10 no's in a row and you're like, forget it, this isn't for me, I suck at this, nobody wants this, everybody's saying no, then yeah, you're out and you've already given up. So it's not going to work. As I posted that this morning, my mom posted right after under it, and she was like, oh my gosh, this is what I got in my email this morning. So I wanted to read this to you guys. It's from MJ Durkin, Durkin, and you should subscribe to his stuff. He was a consultant for Beachbody for a while. We used to have some trainings with him. One of the biggest, I think I've shared this on many Zoom calls, one of the biggest tips I ever heard in this business was from MJ Durkin, and it was, most people think that they have a closing problem when in fact they just have a list problem, right? So this is why I'm always telling you, keep going, build your list, talk to more people, because that's how you're going to get your yeses. So here's what it says. My prospects have no money. My prospects can't make a decision. My prospects just aren't interested. I don't have any good prospects. These 4 issues are more are problems that I hear all the time from my coaching members. They'll often say things to me like, I'm trying to attract good people to my presentations and opportunity meetings, but MJ, what's happening is that I'm getting people who don't have any money. They can't make a decision. They're not interested. This isn't for them. They're just not good prospects. How do I start attracting better prospects? First, I want to remind you that you are creating your life. And this is bad news because this means the prospects that are showing up in your life are always a result of the story you are telling and the vibration that you are holding. Yes, I'm sorry, it is you. You are actually attracting people who don't have money, can't make a decision, need to go and do research, want to talk to their friends, family, neighbors, have those reasons and more for why they don't want to join your business. And the reason you're attracting these bad prospects is because of two things: the story you are telling, the vibration you are holding. Here's a story I often hear from people. I'm attracting people that aren't any good. There aren't any good people in my town or city. I've even heard my country. But none of that is true. The fact is, the vibration and the signal you are sending out is no good for your business. So my tip for you is to start changing your words and your story. You need your story to support you in attracting good people. So let's focus on your new story. I am attracting great people to my business. I attract people that have money. I attract people that can take out a credit card or write a check to buy my starter pack with no problems. I attract people that are open-minded and that are interested in new ideas. They're expansive and they want to grow, and this is very important. They want more out of life. Yes, I attract people who want more out of life and who want a better lifestyle for themselves and their family. This is huge. Start changing your story. Not a story of I can't find anyone, everyone I show is not interested. You've got to start speaking what you want into existence. You've got to start saying, I attract great people, people that have great ideas, people that want to know about opportunities. I attract people that are looking for the next big thing, people who are looking for the next Microsoft and the next Facebook. I'm always attracting people that want to know about my business and are very interested in making more money, having more things, having more joy, and having better relationships. I attract people who really want to know about my business. Now, just saying it doesn't cut it. What you also have to do is you have to start feeling it. I'll often say to my coaching members on our calls, this is where you screw up. A lot of you say that you want to be wealthy, but you don't really feel it. You don't really feel it in your head and in your heart. And if you don't feel it, you're not going to be emanating that kind of signal. You see, it's the signal that you're sending out, but saying it is not enough. You must get into the feeling place of experience it. Picture it. How good will it feel when you're doing presentations that you've got a prospect that's tracking along with you? Or how good will it feel when someone is intently looking at your video or they're looking at your presentation and they're digging it? So in order to attract great people, you need to start changing your story and you need to start speaking a more positive vibration. More importantly, you need to start getting yourself into the feeling place of how good it will feel to attract great people and who are willing to let you work with them to call those people and invite them. So kind of long, but worth it, right? I mean, that is what I say all the time. All of us leaders, it was the whole mantra in our whole Sunday meeting when we were all together yesterday. We have to start feeling it when we're here together. Some of the teammates have been coming here on Tuesdays, and that's what we've been talking about. Like, you have to believe this. Like, when I started this business, many of you know my story. We were filing bankruptcy. We had no money. We had a 2-month-old and a 4-year-old. I was charging diapers. I was charging formula. We were eating mac and cheese. I don't even know what was happening in this house, but it was not good, right? The energy was bad. We were miserable. Like, our energy was low. We were like, oh my gosh. And Beachbody came into my life. And we could have easily just said, oh, forget it. I don't want to do this. What are people going to think? But no, I went in and I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to do everything that my coach tells me to do. I believe in myself and I believe in this business. Was that day one? No. But it was, after some personal development, after some training, and it was me just taking action every day and not worrying about the outcome. My coach Keith and I grew up in a very small town, and we both were going after like the same people, right? They actually started just mocking us all over Facebook. Like, they made a Facebook group and made fun of us specifically behind our backs. And we just like laughed because we're like, someday when we're making right? And it's even now that they still mock us. It's hysterical because they're the same as they were in high school, right? They haven't gotten anywhere. So it's just, you just have to let things go. I shared Sunday, my own mother, it took her 6 months to join me. And she had just had a heart attack and was like on pre-diabetic medicine. I'm like, seriously, you won't just try this shake? No, you don't want me to save your life? Like, really? My own mother, right? But I just kept going and I kept going. I had someone send me a message, stop acting like a personal trainer. I'm like, huh? When did I ever claim that, right? And I just kept going. I just kept going. I would either ignore them or I would just, I don't even know. I just kept going because there was no choice. What was I going to do? What was I going to do? What else was I going to do? What else are you going to do to live the next 5 years better than your last 5? To live this life of freedom. We were talking with our financial advisor today, and we were going over our numbers, and I was saying to him, we're just not doing as good as I thought we would be doing by now. We're making the same money weekly as we were last year. Like, I'm just like at a loss for words. And he's like, okay, so he started pulling up numbers, and he's like, okay, your business has increased 15% since last year. I'm like, oh. He's like, do you know how many people would kill for that? I'm like, oh. I have no clue. I just know I want to make more money. I don't know what's going on. Mark does the books. So I was just going through that with him, and he was like, Nicole, and I sat back today, and I sign consistently 2 to 4 coaches a month. Last month it was 8. I'm up in my game a little, but I sat back and I was like, do I really want to sign 40 to 50 people like the top coaches? I don't think I do. I like my life right now. I like working 9 to 2 Monday through Thursday. Like, what if I don't want to work anymore? Like, I don't want to work anymore. I don't want to sign more people because I don't want to work anymore. So, that's kind of the mentality that I'm at now. But when I was building, I was up till 1, 2 a.m., walking around like a zombie, getting up for 5 a.m. feedings. I didn't have a choice. I needed the next 5 years to look vastly different than the last 15. Mark and I, we got an apartment together when we were 19, we made a 5-year plan every 5 years that failed over and over and over. So this 5-year plan, I needed it to work. I needed it to work for me, for Mark, for my girls, and here we are. And I did it by overcoming my fears, or actually not even letting my fears come into play. So let's talk about some of these fears that you guys brought up. Does anyone have anything they want to add or say while I'm looking? Anyone have any fears that they overcame recently? I love that you guys are doing these bingo games already. So fun. All right.
Hey, Nicole, it's Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin, go.
Yeah, you know what? I think since we went to the event, your meeting on Sunday, I think it's definitely something of the fear of prejudging people. That today, like this is, I'm actually on vacation this week, so it's like perfect timing. And today, I sent out 10 invites. 6 invites were for the business, and I think 2 people that I never thought, one was my buddy from college, and I'm like, nah, I'm not going to invite him. And then Sarah turned around and said, prejudging. After I had just told her I stopped prejudging people, and she started doing it. So it's just kind of funny. Like our fear together was prejudging people, and here we are. She said, I told her don't prejudge, and then she turned around and said don't prejudge. So
I love it. Yeah. I love it. That's awesome. One of the things we talked about to fill you guys in, we talked a lot about prejudging yesterday in the meeting, in that, we make up these stories in our head about what the person is going to say. Like, that's not even, like, cuckoo stories. Like, this person is going to think I'm the worst person ever, and I'm just trying to make money off them. No, they're not. Like, you're just making up these stories. But then we also talked about a couple people, because we we are such a different culture. And because we work so hard on our personal development, we're not the same person we were even just a few short months ago, right? So as you're looking at your Facebook list and you want to invite them as a business prospect and as a business partner, some of the prejudging is valid, because you're almost like, actually, that person's not who I want in my business, because I am not like that anymore. So that's, in my book, that's okay. You get to choose who you want to work with. So if someone is whatever, a pothead, whatever, I don't know, I'm just trying to throw out something out there. But if someone like is just someone that you do not want to be doing business with, and you're like, oh my gosh, like that was me 5 years ago, oh my gosh, I don't want to go down there, then don't invite them. Like, that's okay. I'm giving you permission to not invite the losers on your Facebook. And that's harsh. I didn't mean that. But you know what I mean? The people that you have outgrown. You don't have to invite the people that you have outgrown. So I'm okay with that. So that's okay. That's okay. You get to choose who your business partners are. But don't get too picky. You don't need perfection. So don't be all, oh, I don't want that person, I'm just talking about really bad people or negative people, or, people like that. So, all right, let's go over some of these. So I asked the question, so Chelsea posted connecting with people, and I asked, be more specific. I get nervous because so far I'm a year in and nobody is contacting me back. So there's that nobody. So I freak out to message anybody anymore. So I eat the frog here and there, and I talk to some people about price, and they don't need to lose weight or something. So she's dabbling in invites, right? She's not really inviting 2 to 3 new people every day. 2 to 3 new people every day. How do you do that? Okay. You need a bigger list. And how do you grow your list? There are so many ways to grow your list. And this team has done an amazing job sharing with their ideas. So one of them is the memory jogger. You go into your Coach Online office and you pull up my business, my forms and documents. I think it's there. I don't know. FAQ, the memory jogger, somewhere. It might even be in the Team Passion files. So the memory jogger. I used to do this every quarter. I would pull it, and I would think, I don't have anybody else to add on this thing every quarter. I did, because I would sit down with Mark. So if you have a spouse or a family member, it's helpful, because they can help you come up with this list. So go through all the categories on the memory jogger. Go through all of your Facebook friends. Make sure you are friending 2 new people a day on Facebook. Don't do any more than that, because you'll get put in jail. But 2 new people a day on your Facebook page. If you have been doing this business for a year and you started off with 400 friends and you have 401 now, that's a problem. You're still talking to the same 400 people that have probably blocked you, right? So you need to make sure that you are friending 2 new people a day. You pull out the memory jogger. Ton of people on this team do free groups to build their list. So they offer clean eating, some controversy around some crock-pot groups, but there's crock-pot groups for free, clean eating groups for free, whatever you can offer people for free, you're gonna get hundreds of people because it's free, okay? So, but get them all in, introduce them to Beachbody, start planting the seeds, get to know these people, and that will also build your list. Being in Facebook groups. I'm in 2 Cavalier dog groups. Moms groups. Any type of Shamamore groups. I'm in one of those. Surprise, surprise. But any groups that you're interested in, and I'm not saying spam people and don't put your post in there. Just if you see people in there that you're like, oh, that's a kind of cool post, just click like or comment on their posts and then make note of them and do it again another time. Like, you're just going to build, a lot of times, like, I'll do that and then the person will friend me. So I don't have to waste a friend request and get nervous, So be doing that when you're out and about. So Paul has asked, being out and about, how do I approach strangers? Yeah, I'm not good with that. So, but here's what I do. Wear and share. That's how I talk to strangers. So if I'm at the playground with the girls, I always try to make sure I go to the monkey bars and try to do something on the monkey bars and challenge myself. Mark did a video of me. I got all the way across last summer. I was like, woo. But put wear and share on anytime you're out and about, because they're going to come to you. Like, they're just going to go, oh, do you do that? Like, I've had flight attendants. I had 21 Day Fix shirt on. I get on the plane. She's like, oh my gosh, I love Autumn. I do that. And, or anything, P90X, anything. So anywhere and share anytime you leave the house. Don't be P90X hat, Insanity shirt, hammer and chisel pants. I mean, don't be like that, but just like a piece of, Team Icon does a great job of branding themselves that way. Like, everybody, they all have shirts and they're all out and about, and people say, oh, Team Icon, I've heard of that. I've even seen people in the store. Mark was like, oh, Team Icon. And the person got all excited. I thought they were going to be a prospect. But, but yeah, so whatever you can do to wear stuff so that people will ask you is going to be easier. But does anyone like randomly just walk up to people? Does anyone do that and have any tips on that? I think it's hard because in my party light days, they used to be like, oh, go to Walmart and hang out in the candle aisle and just plant some seeds. And I was like, that's weird. Like, and I did do it one day just because I stepped out of my comfort zone, and I was like, oh, do you, because candles, I'm like, I still will only buy party light candles even now to this day, because I just know so much more about candles and the wax and the wick and how much more safer it is. But it's just funny, different things like that. But you can go hang out in GNC with your Shakeology shirt if you want. I don't know, whatever. You might get kicked out, but whatever works. But I think the wear and share is just a good move. I think it's a comforting move. I think people will just ask you anytime about.
Hey, Nicole,
Yeah.
it's Kevin. I'm sorry. It's funny because Brett Conti, he started a hybrid training on Facebook, and Sarah and I both started doing it, and then some things came up that we had to kind of just put it on the back burner. But, he does that. And, for Brett, he's been in the business for a long time, and Brett used to be a personal trainer. He does all that. But for him, I think it's more of he's done it a couple of times, and it's that building up that confidence to get to that level. I'll be quite honest, there are some times where I'll go to like the Mary Lou's that I go to all the time for Sarah and I. There's like this one girl that she was actually checking to make sure that their seasonal coffee, their pumpkin spice, did not have any gluten in it and didn't have any cinnamon for me because Sarah has allergy. It's amazing. I gave her my card, my Shakeology card. But, she didn't call me. But honestly, every single time I walked in, it was on my mind, but I never approached it. She saw me instantly and said, hey, I haven't heard back yet. Just like being in the customer service field, that's great customer service. Just to remember somebody every single time that you may not even, like, I go in there sometimes like once a week, maybe twice a week, depends or whatever. And then there's weeks I don't go. But that's someone that I always go and I want to say, like, ask her, hey, is this your only job? Like, just follow what Brett says.
That's what Brett does, yeah. He says, he asks people randomly, if they look unhappy, hey, is this your only job? Because I help people financially from home. That's his kind of like tagline, and then they're interested, he Facebooks them and goes from there. That's his thing.
Yeah, I've definitely prospected waitresses. If I get really good service, I'm like, hey, I know this may seem weird, and I may just say, I would just love to have someone like you on my team. And they're like, your team, what? And then we friend each other on Facebook. So that, yeah, for sure, I've been able to do that. And yeah, the same thing, like in the bank tellers, because I was in there all the time. I brought them a basket at the holidays with a bunch of samples, and 3 of them called and ordered. So yeah, people that you see repeatedly, I think it is nice to be able to develop that relationship. And I've said it too to was a honeydew lady. I was like, you're always so cheery. I would love to have you on my team. And she's like, team, what is that? So it's if it's someone you see all the time, you can certainly pay them a compliment and share that. That's awesome. Thank you.
Nicole?
Yes.
It's Anna. I
think
just have a question. So with hairdressing, what about someone who has clients that come in all the time and I guess it's like a fear thing. You don't want to, if you talk about it and they are kind of like, well, how do I don't want to go in to get my hair done next time. That's all she's going to talk about. Like, I feel like I have so many prospects every day, and sometimes I kind of just weave it in naturally. Sometimes I think of like, I don't know, it's kind of hard when you know what I mean? Like kind of mixing the businesses together.
Yeah, I think that would be the same for like group fitness instructors, personal trainers. It's that same category. You have to be careful of putting the two together. So what I used to do as a group fitness instructor, I used to have a group on Facebook of just all of my students. And so so that I could tell them if I had to cancel class, if I was sick. So I would say to them, hey, can I just add you on Facebook? I have a group and I do motivation or something. So adding people on Facebook is always a good move, because then they're just going to watch you, and then eventually they'll ask you, because you're just.
Oh, that's true. Cool.
Yeah, I would do like that. Tanya just said she's a massage therapist. She keeps a brochure on her table and strikes up a conversation from there. So yeah, you definitely want the experience to be about them. You don't want them to think that you're selling them something. I wouldn't do that.
Right.
But I would just, hey, just friend them on Facebook. I offer deals all the time for my clients on Facebook. Do you mind if I friend you? Because you do.
Okay.
You do that. I've seen you do it.
Yep.
Danielle, did you have something you were going to say?
I was just going to say about approaching, I don't want to say approaching people, but like when you're out and about, I found it's much easier as a parent, because use your kids,
Yeah.
You're at the playgrounds and stuff like that. But for those who don't have children, just smile at somebody. I don't care where you're at. And if they smile back and they make that eye contact, then you go to the next step of saying, hey, how are you? Or, then you can kind of build it into a conversation. I've gotten lots of people's contact information on Facebook, or even their phone numbers or their emails, just simply by smiling at somebody. So, but if you have kids, it's much easier, because you're at the playgrounds, you're running around, and you can use them as your little tool, if you will. But if you don't, just start off by smiling. It makes a difference. If you're at Walmart, Target, a sporting goods store, races, or wherever you're at, you're going to get the contacts. I mean, I did a race in Virginia Beach, and I connected with 3 people, and one's already bought a challenge pack. So, and that was we were just waiting to start our run for them to say, okay, go. So it can happen anywhere just by saying hello to somebody.
That was like when you said sporting goods store. So I've gone into Dick's and like tried on sneakers, and I've like acted like I was doing Insanity. So I've done like jumps and stuff, and be like, I just got to see if these fit right for my workout. And they're like, oh, what do you do? So definitely something like that. And Paul, you can borrow Gwen and go to a dog park if you want. Get your feet wet. I don't know if my girls will go with you, but you can borrow Gwen. Awesome. So one of the other things too, it looks like Shauna brought up competing with so many other Beachbody coaches. So yeah, listen, people are going to join your team for you. It doesn't matter. If someone's like, well, I want to sign up with the top coach, freaking let them. Don't let that, if that's how they're going to be, they're not your lifer, right? So you have to I'm going to give you an exercise right now, because we did this last Tuesday and then we did it Sunday. You need to journal quarterly about your lifer. Okay, so we talk about this all the time. This is your ideal business partner. And I'm going to give you some prompts. I'm going to just have you write these down, but then I want you to take some quiet time and do this by yourself later. If you can do it tomorrow, or some of you out on the West Coast, or even in Japan, I don't know what time it is where you are, Jill. But if you can go find some water and just be near, yeah, so you got 2 o'clock, you're good. Go find some water. Go hang out by some water, turn the shower on, whatever you guys got to do. But I want you guys to get deep and think about this. So who is your lifer? And as I give you these prompts, this isn't materialistic. This will be the only person that you sign up. This is just to give you an idea of who you're looking for. And P.S., when you start doing boosted posts on your like ad and your like page, this is who you're targeting. So do this now because that's the work that you need to be doing. So is your lifer male or female? What is their age? Bye, Tanya. Good to see you. What is their age? What is their age range? Try to do like a 9-year age range, 9 to 10 years. So don't like 30 to 65. That's too much. Mine is like 35 to 44. Okay. What kind of car do they drive? Do they drive a minivan? Do they drive an Escalade? So is it a big SUV? Is it a minivan? Do they drive a sports car? What do they drive? Is their car clean? Is their car dirty? Is it cluttery? Is it organized? When they take you for a ride in their car, are there Burger King wrappers everywhere? What kind of car does this person drive? Where do they live? Like, what part of the country do they live in? Do they live where you live? Do they live West Coast, Midwest, in the boonies? Northeast, Southeast, where do they live? What kind of living environment are they in? Do they live in an apartment? Do they live in a house? Do they live on a boat? Do they live in a trailer? Where do they live? Do they have kids? Do they have pets? Are they married? Are they not married? How do they dress? How do they dress each day? Are they chilling out in some yoga pants, or are they, wear accessories? Like, what do they look like each day when they leave the house? Are they a corporate executive, or do they just dress down? Like, what do they dress like? What are their hobbies? What are their interests? Do they golf? Do they horseback ride? My hobby is the spa. So do they just go to the spa? I've coined spa days as a hobby because I don't have a hobby. Pampering is a new hobby. Yes. All the women are agreeing. And Charlotte, there's something behind you. Don't look. It's the hairless kitty. All right. So what are their personality type? Like, what this for me is like, for me, I journal about this person and this one thing comes up every single time. Their work ethic. Are they self-motivated? Do they have drive? Are they coachable? Will they do whatever you ask them to do? Will they message you every day? What's next? Could I be doing more? What more should I be doing, Nicole? What's more? Work ethic. I share this story all the time. In the corporate world, I didn't have a lot of friends because I was, I guess, a brown noser, whatever. Because I always was looking for more projects. I was like, what's next? What can I do now? Like, I wanted to do more. I wanted to succeed. I wanted to be successful in my job. And I would sit and I would answer the phone, and I was in the payroll department. And if it's a wrong call came in, I would be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm in payroll, but let me try to get you someone in billing. And I would transfer the call, and I would wait for the person to pick up. If the person never picked up, I would get the call back, and I would say, I'm sorry, there's nobody there. Do you want their voicemail, or here's their extension to call back later? So it took me an extra 2 minutes, where coworkers, I would hear them pick up the phone and go, that's not my job, and transfer me to the operator. And they were like, done. I'm like, oh, really? Couldn't have just taken a couple extra minutes to just, so does your lifer just take a few extra minutes and go above and beyond with what they do? All right, so I want you to kind of really take those prompts and anything else that comes up and just journal. And like MJ Durkin, feel this person coming into your life. Something that happened at our in-person meeting with Kelly last week, she was with the car, she was like, oh, well, I want someone with an organized car, but crap, my car is a mess. I was like, okay, well then we were saying, okay, then that's what you need to strive for, Kelly. You need to strive to be more organized in your car if that's who you need to attract, right? So, here she is. So whoever you are looking to attract, you have to become that person. So if you're looking for a quality in someone and you're like, but that's not really me, but I would really love to do that, then you have to become that person. Again, that's your vibe that you're attracting your tribe with, right? Like you have to put out what's coming back. So take that, do that often. Here's the thing, don't worry about how or where you're gonna find these people, okay? I can't explain to you what will begin to happen, but these people will begin to miraculously appear in your life. It's the universe doing its thing. It's not up to you to question because we can't figure that out, okay? So just do it, trust it, believe in it. You know, I have a lot of people that message me on the Diamond page. I've journaled about my life for 3 times and I'm not getting anyone. Okay, well, stop getting mad, first of all. That's not going to happen. You know, but then it's like, okay, just keep going. What do you tell your coaches? What do you tell your challengers? Keep going, right? So it may not work the first few times, but trust me, they're going to start appearing. And chances are when you're done with this list, you're going to look in the mirror and they're you. Okay? You're looking for clones of you. All right? Some other questions. I think the biggest fear for people, I think one of the biggest fears for people is worrying about what other people are going to think, right? Is that what would you guys agree that that's a huge fear that stops you in your tracks? So something that always sticks in my head when I'm about to eat that frog and send a scary invite, instead of saying, what if they say no? I say, what if they say yes? Gosh, feel that difference? What if this person says yes? You not sharing this business opportunity is being very selfish. This is the best opportunity that we have to offer. Second, you know, what's going to happen along the way is they're going to get healthy and fit and feel amazing, for sure. But we are offering people a gift of freedom. Now, all you can do is offer this gift. You can't control whether they say yes. You can't control if when they do say yes, if they take off in this business. I mean, I'm always in my personally sponsored coach page going, anyone need anything? Like, you know, like I am here to guide you and help you and give you all of my tools. You know, and you guys here, you know, I see many familiar faces on this Zoom call. You are here with me every Monday night. And this is how I know that I just am never going to give up on you and you are never going to give up on yourself. The ones that come here on these nights, they come on Tuesday, they come to the monthly meetings. It's like, you know, sometimes when the monthly meetings come around, I'm like, oh man, we only have 30 people. And I'm like, you know what? I am going to give those 30 people the best 2 hours I could ever give someone. And I used to do that with my fitness classes. It would be me and one other person. I'm like, well, tonight you're getting a live personal training session. Like, you know, and inside I was dying. I'm like, why doesn't anyone want to take my class? I suck at this, right? But I was like, okay, I'm just going to train this one person. So all you can control is what you can control, which is what you're offering. You're educating, inspiring, and motivating. If you're not inviting to this business, then that's bad. Like you're being selfish and you're letting your fears get in the way and you're not allowing an opportunity for somebody else to change their lives because of what you think they're going to say. And I want you to I know it's easier said than done. You guys, I know, trust me, I'm telling you, I told you at the beginning of this call, an entire town made fun of us. you have to keep going no matter what. And you have to stop making up these stories. People aren't going to think, oh, she just wants my money. He just wants my money. Nobody's thinking that. I posted on my Facebook page last week, someone on my like page was like, oh, this is a scam. I'm like, I know. I'm trying to scam you into healthy life. We're not trying to scam anyone, and the only way that you're going to overcome your fears is by taking action. One of our diamonds who can't be here tonight, Lorena, had posted in our page, I feared so many things in this business, but all I realized is I just needed to take action. And then the fear started going away, and then I needed to do it again, and the fear started going, and then I needed to do it again. So Kevin was saying that being out and about, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So the more you do the business invites, the easier it becomes. Do not fear the business invite. Everybody's like, what am I supposed to say? You are supposed to genuinely compliment the person and tell them why you would love to have them on your team. Would they be open to hearing more? That's a business invite. It's not a copy and paste of, hey, so I'm in an MLM and we're a binary multi-level marketing system and I have 2 legs and this would be really great. Like, stop it. Your invite is, I want you on my team because you're freaking awesome and I love you and I love your post every day. And, seriously, that's how my invites go. Kelly Smith she posted, she was 23 when I invited her, and she posted books of personal development as a 23-year-old. She's like, this is my summer reading. I'm like, I want you. And that's all I did. I was like, I want you. I want you on my team, Kelly. I don't know if you've ever thought about doing something like this, but I want you on my team. Okay. She literally was like, yeah, that sounds good. Oh, you just have to genuinely invite. And some of these invites will be cold. There'll be people that you're like, oh my gosh, I think I went to high school with that person, but I haven't talked to them in a really long time, but wow, look at those posts. It's okay to genuinely just compliment someone. You don't even have to invite them in that first message. Just be like, I love your posts. I love your posts. I love coming to your page every day and seeing your posts. Just say that. And then the next time we even invite in. But, just start talking to people. Be genuine. Don't worry that someone's going to pick someone who makes more money than you. Don't worry about stuff like that. Like, they are going to come in for you. Like, there are people who don't want to be in a top team. We have a coach on this team that jumped through hoops to get on this team. And she was assigned to a top coach. She didn't want that. She wanted me. She wanted someone she could relate to. And I begged her to please keep going back to her coach multiple times because that's how I do. But she insisted because it's just, you just know. You just know who your lifer is and you just know who you're going to connect with. So don't let that fear, that's like an excuse more than a fear, I think. That's a little bit of an excuse. The only way you can lose momentum in this business, that was another fear. The only way you can lose momentum in this business is if you stop. If you just stop doing any Beachbody business. Every single day, I've shown you guys multiple times, we've done 3 power hours together on Facebook for an hour and 15 minutes. You accomplish so much in an hour and 15 minutes. I'm like, why don't you just do that every day? And it's that focus, it's that direction that you needed. It was just like, I don't know. Like, when I go to work in Beachbody, I am working, I am looking, I am seeking, I am strategizing. A lot of my work day is strategizing. Mark and I will sit down and go, okay, this ad isn't working. What's happened in our targeting? What can we do better? And then he'll send me something. I'm like, I don't like that video. I don't like that picture. Let's do this. Bounce ideas off of other people. Go on the team page and say, hey, guys, I was about to post this at 9 o'clock tonight. How's it look? Let each other help you out. What else? Any other fears you guys have? I know it's getting late. Anything else you wanted me to cover? I think I covered all those I think the answer is, as Nike says, just do it, right? Like, you just have to do it. You have to not worry about it. You have to not worry about and people in your life that you care about are going to say. We heard a success story from a new coach who invited her best friend to the business. They had been best friends for 20 plus years, maybe not that long. She looks really young. 15 years. I don't know. However long. They had been best friends. And her best friend shot her down to the point where they're not talking anymore. Like, she said, this isn't like you. Why would you do something like this? You're going to fail at this. Don't do something like this. This is stupid. You're making a huge mistake. And she was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And she had lost like 30 pounds. That's going to happen because you've grown and they're not willing to grow. So you have to figure out what's worth it. To me, my girls, Mark, they're worth it more for me than what anybody is ever going to say to me. I don't care. I'm on this earth to be a mom and be a wife and be the best version of myself, and I don't give two shits what anybody else thinks. I don't. And maybe I'm a rare breed because some people they do care too much about what other people think, but I have priorities in my life, and they're these two precious gifts that were given to me, and Mark and I'll have to tell you our story one day, but fate brought us together for sure. The universe was at work with Mark and I. So like I said, I was inviting my mom. She was saying no. My stepdad was like, I'm going to block you on Facebook. You're making too many posts. I'm like, go ahead. He's lost 100 pounds on Shakeology. You just can't let these little voices, because it's them. They're insecure. They're the ones who have an issue. If they're, I felt bad for that girl. I'm like, if your friend attacked you like that, she's got some issues, right? It's them. It's not you. It's never you. It's never, ever, ever you when you're personally attacked. Please know that. It's never you. It's always their issue. I promise you that 100% of the time, unless you're being a jerk. But I don't associate with jerks, so that's not happening, right? So it's them. It's not you. So you won't be personally attacked because you don't hang around with a lot. And if you are, it's going to be so rare that you just have to go, oh, that was rude, and move on to the next one. Anything else you guys want to add? Talk? Kevin's unmuting himself.
Yeah. Wait till you see me tomorrow, Nicole. I'm coming with Sarah.
Woo!
I think a big fear, and Sarah and I have been talking about it, is so having an upline coach that signed you up, that you feel like you're working the business without them, and then all of a sudden we go our separate ways, and then that upline coach who's trying to work a business and really wants to partner with us but doesn't do a good job of it, and trying to have that fear of saying, listen, thanks for signing us up. We love you. You're still our friend, but we're going to go in a totally different way than you're going. And we don't think we can partner with you anymore. Like, saying that to somebody, that's a big fear, because especially when that person is your friend.
Yeah. I mean, if that was one of the biggest things that I have learned as a leader, is we want our team to move away from us. So like Keith sponsored me, and he loved and nurtured me for about 6 to 9 months, and then he pushed me out of the nest. And we have gone completely separate ways. Like, Keith and I do not run our business the same way, and never have. We've always respected each other and loved each other and supported each other. But yeah, there were times where, I would do team calls for him. He would do team calls for me. And then we just stopped. So you just grow away from your leader, and that's okay. And I don't think there is really anything that needs to be said. I would just kind of grow away. I don't think it's anything, and I think everybody's such at a different spot in this business. It just depends on where you're at. Even if it's someone in your downline, upline, crossline, sideline, whatever line, it's like, I think a lot of people, I know there's a few people on their team, like on this team, that a coach signed them up and then quit, and now they're stuck with another coach, and they're like, just go and relate to who you can relate to. If you're learning from me, that's okay. Your coach will be excited that you're learning from me. Don't take that personal. That was huge for me too. I will tell you this numerous times. I would share stuff with Tony and I'd be like, hey, Tony, I'm going to try this. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm like, okay, cool. Thanks. Have a good day. I'm like, what the frick? You know, I'm like, what? But Tony and I partnered for a good 4 to 6 months together. We figured this out together. We talked for a good year, like all the time. You know, we would text each other every morning. What's your check? Every Thursday. What's your check? What's your check? You know, so great relationship. He moved away from me very quickly. He did everything Keith said and nothing I said, which is, again, I didn't take it personal. He's my most successful coach. I didn't care who taught him. I didn't care who trained him, right? So it doesn't, I think that's just kind of a, you know, I just think this business, you just have to go with whoever you relate to, and you're stuck with your coach regardless of if, you know, wherever they are. So just, you know, love and support on people. You know, I tell my team all the time, like, I'm not going anywhere. I will never, ever, ever give up on you. I am always here. Like, I'll have coaches that disappear for a couple months, 3 months, 6 months, a year. I'm like, hey, are you ready? Or, you know, or I'll send them a birthday card or something and they come back. So, yeah, compassion is huge in this business. And I just think supporting each other no matter where we are is just big. And it's hard. It's hard if you don't connect with your coach. I totally get that. Or you've grown away from your coach. I totally get that. I get that. I have some of that internally, but they brought you here. They were not, they did it, and, you know, yeah. Anything else? What do you guys got?
Nicole, I have a question.
Yes, Jill.
I'm actually trying to experiment whether the virtual assistants are worth it, because that's my biggest fear. Me and my family are going on vacation this holiday, and I wanted to try that out. One of the things that Chalene Johnson's been discussing with delegation.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to try that out, but I'm a little bit scared to jump in and just give my information to that person that I don't personally know. So my question for you is that, have you ever dabbled or have you ever tried using those virtual assistants for your business?
So that actually came up with my financial advisor today, because I said to him, you know, I really stink at posting on my Facebook now because my ads are running and people are just flooding into me that I don't really post on my pages anymore, because I'm like, oh, I don't have to worry about the content because people are coming in on their own. But I need to be. So, and he was like, well, do you need to be? And I'm like, well, no, I should probably hire a virtual assistant. So there are companies out there that you can pay like $200 to $300 a month, and they will do things like that for you. You definitely have to do your research. We have used Elance multiple times. That's kind of how we got our feet wet, either Elance or Odesk. And you basically put out a help wanted ad on those sites, and you have to be diligent on, you put in a price. Like we paid $35 once, and someone played with my Instagram account and got me like 500 more followers. They were legit followers, but for like a week, she ran everything on my Instagram. And so what you do in those settings is you create a temporary password and give that to them, and then you put the password back when they're done. So that's a little bit of a protection that you can do. But I would listen to Chalene's podcast about protecting yourself on social media, because she goes heavy into that since she got hacked.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would even look for, like, do you have college students, or I know you're kind of are you on a military base? Do you have anyone, do you have any young people that know how to use social media that you could hire?
I am looking at a couple of friends' children in here. Like, one of my friend is really techie, and I'm thinking about hiring her. But my biggest fear is that she might probably get distracted. You know, well, I know for a fact that I need to interview someone, and I have to filter whoever would fit the bill for me.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I'm still not very confident on doing this one. I mean, I would want to jump in right away to virtual marketing, but I'm still finishing up with the other course, the Courageous Confidence. and
Right.
Shirley wants me to go through the first one for, what do you call this?
Smart Success.
Yeah, Smart Success first before I get into virtual marketing. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you could suggest. Do you think I should go to virtual marketing?
I think Elance or Odesk or hiring someone local is a great dip your toes in the water. Yeah.
All right.
And Mark and I are going to look into hiring like a general virtual assistant. She has a company in the Philippines that she recommends that we're going to try out too. But we haven't done that yet. But we've used Elance, we've used Odesk, we've used people out and about. People that are techie, or I mean, Mark's techie, but with the social media stuff, for me, it's basically I need someone to create content in my voice and not bother me. Like research me, get to know me, know who I am, know my personality, and then write for me.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna study this one and just ditch the fear away from me, because that's one of the things that's really bothering me lately.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard that we only have so much time. So, yeah, it's hard. I get it.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. Anything else, guys? Was this helpful? Do you think your lifer? I think your lifer journaling exercise is going to be really helpful. Make sure you're feeling it. Make sure you're emotional. Who this person is. Like Amy Yannick shared, she's done this exercise many times, but recently she did it, and she had like tears realizing who this person was. So when you have tears or when you have butterflies, that's when you know this stuff is working. And you're like really emotional when you're doing journaling exercises, that's how you know that you're in the right spot. So you could mindlessly and unemotionally do all these type of journaling exercises, but until you really feel it, you're not going to believe it. All right. So when we get off this call tonight at 10 o'clock, you are going to, it's 9:58, you are going to just send 5 messages to people just telling them how great they are. So like if there's got to be at least 5 people, if not 5, do as many as you can, people that you've been like, God, I love their posts every day. They would be so good at this. You don't have to go send them an invite. I would love that. But just send them a private message and just tell them that you love their posts, something. You love coming to their page every day. Like, honestly, there's people, I mean, a lot of them are coaches, but like, I go to Cheryl O'Malley's page every morning to find out if she slept. Like, because she has kids that don't allow that. And one of these days, she's going to, once I get a spare bedroom, I'm going to let her come sleep here at night. I don't know if I'll get her out, though. She might stick around. But, like, there's people that you look forward to their posts every day. Send them a message right on their wall so their friends see it. Ooh, that's even better. Just write on their wall and tell them that you just love their posts every day. Something. Start getting your feet wet and make sure you're building your list, and just make sure you're plugging into us. We have so many of these Zoom calls, how to build a list, how to do an invite, I've done all these. Everything we've talked about tonight, I've done separate Zooms on. So go listen to them over and over again, and then just take action. As Nike says, just do it. All right, good night, guys.
Night.